Evidently, ladies and gentlemen, this needs to be a good one. So, aha, and welcome to this very exciting. It's not very often Sean gets this excited. I mean, just look at him, brimming with. Well, I don't know what he's brimming with, but it's not. It's not excitement. But welcome, Dan and Sean, another episode of Is It Shit? And so we're an exciting one today.
We are looking at the Pulsar 8200 EQ. Very exciting,
isn't it?
Based on, obviously, I think, but maybe not to everyone, it's the GML. It's the George Maschenberg Labs 8200 EQ, which, of all the EQs, is by far my favourite, and used one a lot in the studio. I've used it in mastering, used it in tracking. If ever I see one in a studio, I'm going to use it. And it's one of those rare pieces of equipment where even if you're not doing anything, just running your audio through it, it comes out the other side better.
Why?
It's old transformers, it's old-fashioned topology. It just
harmonics.
It just does something. Yeah, it adds harmonics. It's got that weird 3D effect just by running audio through it. It's an awesome bit of kit. And this is a modelled version of that with a few extra little bits, which obviously you can do because it's a plugin.
Good. Okay, so we'll take us through it.
Take you through it. Okay, so very basically, it's a 5-band fully parametric EQ, the same frequency bands and everything as the GML 8200.
So the GML was a parametric?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. It looks exactly the same as this, except for it was black and not white. But pretty much looks the same. But obviously this has some extra things. So we have the graphic display at the front, which if you want, you can just, click and drag and operate it like you would any other plug-in EQ. Or you'll find yourself, I think, using the controls more and more. There's something about it. It works better. Well, it does for me. And then
you're not a big fan of the graphic representation stuff, are you?
I'm generally not. It's sometimes interesting to see what you've done, but generally you get put off.
Terrifying, generally.
Sometimes terrifying. Yeah, you look at the amount of top end you've put on something sometimes, and you go, oh shit, yeah, I better turn that down. It's like, but hang on, you made that decision with your ears, so it's the right decision. So stop looking sometimes. The extra little bit down the bottom on each side, you've got high pass filter, you've got sub, a little bit like the Marg EQ4 stuck on top of it. So you've got a sub control separate from the low end, which is nice. You've then got a tilt control.
I know all about that, don't we?
I love a tilt. I really love a tilt, especially in mastering.
A bit tilted.
Because sometimes it's just needs a little tweak one way or the other, and that's great for that. Then it's got an airband. Again, very similar to the Marg, just real top end, really nice thing to have. And then at the other end, it's got the low pass filter. Then in the centre section, well, first of all, I should say this will work in mid-side, which is incredibly useful. Also, it's got separate gain controls. So, you can, if you're doing a lot of boosting, you can bring down the output. It's also got auto gain button, which all plugins should have. So then you can actually hear what it's doing rather than just, you get fooled when things turn up that they're better. And that's not always the case. It also has a built-in Deesser, which works as either a sort of a narrow notch or as a shelf kind of thing. And you might wonder, why is that on basically what is a mastering EQ? And it's like sometimes the whole track will need de-essing, and this will find, it's a really nice de-esser. You find the little notch where it is, turn up the amount, and it can do quite a lot, quite subtly. And it also seems to add something harmonically while it's doing, I think, it's doing it.
Is there an element of this?
Yeah.
For button in? It's like, they all do the same thing. So you've got a host of plugins now with an airband.
Yes.
A host of plugins with a tilt. Host of plugins that work in mid-side. Host of plugins. And, and they're like, shall we put a de-esser on it? Why not? And then all of a sudden, before you know it, you've got a choice. You've got 4 plugins on your 2-bus. Yeah. And they've all got airband on them. The option of airband on them.
Well, do you know what? The amount of plugins on my 2-bus that have got a mono maker and a stereo widener. And the thing to remember with all that is like, only use one. Only pick one and use that one. Don't do a bit on loads because it will cause all kinds of problems. But yeah, you're right. This is more common to add these extra features, but it's really useful. It's really useful. And in this particular case, the de-esser, I would say, is specifically good in a mastering or 2-bus situation where, let's say, your mix is, you're banging happy with it. It's really nice, but maybe there's some harsh frequency in the middle. It doesn't have to be a vocal. It doesn't have to be S's. It could be a hi-hat. It could be crash cymbals or whatever. Zone in on it and just notch it a bit.
Would you not take care of that in the mix?
You absolutely would if you could. this is in the situations where maybe, do you know what? Every time I try and do that in the mix,
So
the mix goes.
Okay.
It does happen.
Yeah,
Sometimes you try and tweak something that's wrong in a mix and it just throws the mix out. So in this situation, everything gets left alone. You just notch out that issue. I got to say this. I've been testing it a lot. In fact, so much I'm just going to say straight off now. When I bought it, I bought it with. I think I had the demo for about 3 or 4 days, and I thought I have to get it.
Yeah.
And I've used it almost every day since I've got it.
And what's it compared to? What are the other EQs?
I mean, obviously, it's going up against the AMEC 200 and the AMEC 250 by Brainworks.
Yep.
I use the 250. I still use that. It's different to this. They're similar. They do a similar job. I think if you're a fan of the GML, the original, this will be much easier for you to get your head round and to get the job done quicker because it's familiar. They are slightly different. They don't have the same sound, but they are definitely competing.
So what do you say to all those people that you recommended the AMEC to?
It's still a great plugin, and I've still got mine, and I'm still using it all the time. At the same time as this.
Good answer. So, Sean, the Pulsar 8200, based on the GML 8200. How much does it cost?
Normally it's $149, but as it's new at the moment, they're doing it for $89. I think that is a steal. It's a fantastic mastering EQ.
Do you get 14 days, obviously, trial?
14-day full demo, yeah, fully functional. Try it out, bounce out some mixes, go and listen to them. It's good.
Is it shit?
No, nowhere near shit. It's awesome.
Nowhere near shit. Exactly where I like to be, people.
Well, you're in the wrong place for that, Dan.
Surrounded by it. Literally. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to enjoy more of these plugin reviews.
Do that. And also we have a Instagram now, which is Studio Life 101. And also, if you're feeling really generous, you can become one of our Patreons, which helps keeps the channel going and allows us to buy more plugins and try them out for you.
And all the links to these gubbins are below us in the box under the video.
They are.
So until next time.
See you soon.
Bye.